We have another clip of a woman oversharing on the internet and embarrassing her husband. Let's go.
You know, back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd.
This woman is sitting back having a drink, enjoying the backyard that her husband provided for her while reminiscing about dudes she used to have sex with in the past. If this ain't crazy, I don't know what is. But you already know we got to check out some comments. Let's look at this comment by Daniel. Bitch laid the video off talking about effing ninjas other than her husband. So disrespectful to the nerd. She tried to convince herself she did the right thing. That's like about a good 89% of women like her. They date hood guys, then try to marry the nerd as a backup and as a cleanup man, Tommy. JP says, I love how they continue to tell on themselves. I hope men, especially productive black men, see this and move accordingly. I couldn't agree more, JP. I couldn't agree even more. I literally just did a video on this topic maybe last week, and these videos always just make me think, as bad as these women make themselves look, this is actually beneficial to men out here because we know what to avoid, the type of women with this mentality. The next comment says, she not even happy because she's sitting in the yard like that, reflecting on ninjas she actually like. Great point. Great point. But let's scroll up. I purposely skipped one comment. Check out this first image right here. This is a screenshot of a comment underneath her original video on TikTok. And it reads, girl, I'm following you because the fact that you said the dirty socks and slippers, yuck, but I love the upgrade. Look at her comment. I mean, the sex was fun. Can't knock it. Bruh. Oh my God. So of course, after finding this clip, I had to fall down a rabbit hole of this young lady's TikTok and do a deep dive of the nonsense. And of course, none of her videos should be of any shock or surprise to people. Let's see what we got.
My husband saw me as his wife from jump. It took me a minute to catch up because I was like, what are you doing, you nerd? But he saw me as his wife immediately. I didn't have to jump through hoops. I didn't have to double check. I didn't have to follow up. That man led me straight to the altar and did. So stop believing this, okay? Stop taking advice from men who would never wife a woman anyway. Start hurting these niggas' feelings and acting like the queen you are. My God. Fear my biggest pet peeve on this app is men in my comments. Because, like, go kill a dragon or something. Like, go punch a clock. Why are you commenting under my page where I'm talking to women about women? Oh, my wife, you're not married, Calvin. You have a picture of a sneaker as your icon. Be so for real. Clock in at Metro PC and leave me and my ladies out of it. Thank you.
And it's crazy because I ended up going through a bunch of her videos to make this one, and she repeats a couple of these things a lot. One of them about get a job at Metro PC. I don't know if she's talking about Metro PCS, the inexpensive phone store, or maybe it's something completely different. I know that she's down in Atlanta. But she makes fun of that job, for which I'm assuming because it's a low-paying gig. And she says the same rhetoric, a lot of what these man-hating feminists say, and that's men should be out slaying dragon, men should be out fighting wars. Basically, it's just a shaming tactic to say men that shouldn't comment on women's content, even though they never hesitate to comment on men's. And then also, you made a clip that went out there on the internet and it went viral. This video got millions of views on Twitter, and I don't think she really realized it at the time because she posted it on TikTok. But here's the thing, newsflash to content creators and people that's watching, if your content goes viral, it don't matter what platform it goes on, somebody will post it somewhere else.
Every happily married woman I know is a man-eater. Like, we hold the bulls in our hands. We hate men. We can't stand them. Why are you speaking? Why are you talking? Happily married. So, get meaner. That's my advice. Get meaner. Be a horrible Ursula, down dog, man-hating bitch if you want to be happily married. I don't know what to tell you. That's all I got. Like, I'm at home unpacking a Costco haul, doing nothing really. So that's my little advice to you.
After going over this woman's page, she gives off this sarcastic, I'm intelligent, bitch type energy. But if you really think about what she's saying, is it really that smart? And to be fair to her, I've heard a lot of other admitted man haters, like she said, say this online, and that's, I'm happily married, but be extremely nasty to your husband. I mean, think about logically how that sounds. Logically, be nasty, be mean to your spouse. Think about if men said that. Hey, be mean to the woman that you're with, the mother of your children, the one that you chose to marry. Who would want their spouse to be mean to them? But what it is that these are women who are with weak men. And I mean, this is no slight to your husband if he sees this video, but these type women have their balls in a vice. And have I met men like this? Yes. What's the common theme about men like this? They're weak. Because no man with standards and a backbone is going to let a woman have his balls in her purse. And why would you want to be with someone like that? They want to be with someone like that so they can be in charge and dominate that said person because they will allow it. But let's go back to her TikTok. I'll put the arrow up if you can't see it. But this video right here is the one that we just watched. And this video was posted 3 days ago, the one that went viral on Twitter. And she made a couple more videos. I'm not going to include these two, but let's look at the next 4 videos that she's made.
What I'm about to say is probably going to hurt a few men's feelings, and that's okay. That's all right. They're all right. When I was a kid, my dad used to say, grown men don't dance. When I would ask him why he doesn't dance, like at parties and stuff, he said, I never learned how to dance. I was too busy working. I think that same thing applies to social media. Grown men who are gainfully employed are not in women's comments writing weird shit. Like, I feel sorry for your husband. My wife would never. You don't have a wife. You work at Metro PC. You don't even have health insurance. You don't have a wife. Get off the internet. Go be a man.
And then you hear what she says, again, at Metro PC, when she says no shade, which is absolutely shade. And I didn't even address that in the other clip. When she talks about men talking about marriage and they're not married, you don't even have a wife. Newsflash, woman, that insult doesn't really work on men because men aren't the one that's been dreaming since they were 10 and 12 years old about getting married. I think it's fair to say the vast majority of men don't want to get married. It's probably about 60-40. There are a lot of guys who do. But that insult doesn't carry the weight that you think it does. That's more of an insult for other women. But it's all a shaming tactic. It's men shouldn't be here commenting on their women's page, you're unemployed. And she's right about one thing. I don't have a job. YouTube pays me enough. I don't have to work. So I'm with you on that. Let's look at the next video.
Hot take, 2 opinions I could never give a shit about a man's in any capacity, like at all. And a woman who has never had children speaking to mothers. I don't give a
Okay, and there you go. Again, that's the second video she's obviously made because men have been in her comments. This first comments right here says, married to 6 fellas. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And now this is her third response video. Men aren't on social media.
I hear what you say. The idea of men on social media will always be oxymoronic to me. Men aren't in married women's comments. Men are at work doing men things with their man friends in real life. IRL, I think as the kids call it. They are not talking about a happily married woman and other happily married women. We're talking to unmarried women about how to find a husband and be happily married. My God. Like, what was the search, babe? How to find a husband yourself? My goodness.
No, we saw your name after you said some bullshit in another clip and it went viral on Twitter. They always try to shame you, bro. Look at the comments. The chat is cooking you on X, ma'am. I told you, they over there on Twitter frying her up. What a load of BS. Birds chirping. It's just bird talk. You went viral on X. Lord, it's a mess. And she said, I've heard. This was earlier this morning. And she still responded. And this gentleman says, just apologize. It's okay. And that's what it boils down to. I'm not sitting up here trying to rag on this woman. It's a conversation that needs to be had. And that's telling women to stop oversharing. You don't need to go online and vent about how you're reminiscing about old dudes you used to sleep with. Like, grow up. No one needs to hear that. And here's her 4th video addressing it.
About this too long, it'll like dive into class and privilege. And I don't want to do that because it's super yucky. But there are men in my comments who talk about what they would and wouldn't do with me who could never afford to be in the sort of educational and tax bracket that would have even made them a potential suitable partner for me.
And guys, I've spent the last maybe 2 hours going through her TikTok page. This woman doesn't have a job. She's a stay-at-home mom. I think she's got a couple kids with her husband who's a doctor, and good on him. I'm not hating on the family, but you're talking about men that get with you not even in the education or tax bracket to get a woman who doesn't work? You don't have no job. The ego.
I've never met you. I could have never been a potential mother of your children because we just would have never met. So I'm reading these comments and I'm kind of like screenshotting the ones that I think are really amusing. One, because you guys are so soft. Like, so soft, so sensitive that you take like offense to conversations that weren't about you. And if they were about you, it was about the type of men to avoid: dirty white socks and Adidas, and men that aren't smart. And you're like, oh.
But you didn't avoid them. You admitted to having sex with them. How are you going to tell someone else?
Oh, I'm like, so you wear dirty white Adidas socks and you're not smart? You get it? You might not. But like, it is really always just going to be hard for like a man who couldn't have gotten into DeVry to disrespect me. Like, they're just, you don't know the words. You don't know where to punch. The idea that I should be ashamed that I had a sex life before I met my husband, I'm not.
And here's the thing. This is what happens when you're dealing with someone who thinks they're smarter than they actually are. First of all, she punches down. She's talking about people who went to DeVry University. Man, a college degree is a college degree. I salute anyone who go out there and get it, regardless. Everybody can't go to Yale and Brown and Harvard. And I coined this term almost 4 years ago when I started my YouTube channel. PPM, professional point misser. Unless you're a virgin and you're marrying a man that's a virgin and vice versa, everyone's going to have a sexual past. That's not the point, Miss Smartass. It's not the point about you having a past. We all do, unless we're virgins, which rarely happens on the man or the woman side. The point is you going online and voluntarily giving us information that nobody asked for, while at the same time shaming your husband. Again, if your husband take it, that's fine. But this video is not about him. It's for the younger guys to see this and know what boundaries to set and avoid women like this.
It was fun. It made me a better lover for him.
No, it didn't. He
had a sex life before me, made him a better lover for me. Yeah, there's nothing that I share on here that I am ashamed of, or else why would I share it? You get it? You probably don't.
No, because you're oversharing and you like attention. It doesn't matter how detrimental it becomes to your husband or your marriage. You don't care because anything for that attention.
Anyway, your mom's waiting for her phone back, so hand it back and let the adults talk and go get a job application.
So we got that right at the end. But while I was putting this video together, I saw another clip that kind of tied this all together. I'm like, okay, now I guess I kind of understand her arrogance talking about men getting with her and not being in the right tax bracket. A stay-at-home mom who's unemployed. But look what I found. This is a random clip I found. Funniest part is that this is D.L. Hewley's daughter. So she went seeking the dirty socks and slides, which brings you to a whole other level. You are D.L. Hewley's daughter, the comedian, which means you grew up rich and privileged. And that takes it to a whole other level. You purposely went after the hood ninjas. You purposely did that when you were probably living an extremely affluent lifestyle. And I Googled this just to verify. That is 100% D.L. Hewley in the picture. And that's the same Instagram account. And then I found this. I found this article from about 3 years ago. D.L. Hewley's daughter says her heart is so full after mending relationship with her dad. D.L. Hewley's eldest daughter, Ryan Shepard, is opening up about her tumultuous relationship with her father. So this already tells me you have daddy issues, probably from your father being on the road a lot, missing a lot of those milestone achievement moments because he was out on the road doing shows and obtaining his wealth. So you're a man hater, an admitted man hater because of your daddy issues. So at the end of the day, fellas, like that first tweet I read earlier, you know what type of women this are to avoid. They spend their life chasing Tyrone, Pookie, and Chad, and then want to settle with the nerds, live life with the nerds. On your property, reminiscing in your backyard about Tyrone taking her to Pound Town while you going to put the kids to bed. Can you imagine? I'll tell you this.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though.
While she's looking down on the men commenting on her, and she didn't even got no job, but you know what? Finding out about her dad being famous, now it all kind of makes sense. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do better, squad. Fall out.